Welcome, guys. Welcome to the process. Another wonderful Wednesday. Guys, shout outs to carl0.com. Let's get into the show. Today, we're talking about in services. We'll be right back. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to the process on this evening. So, guys, today we're talking about in services, and I just want to have a little conversation with you on in services. So, what is an in service? In service is basically in-house education. Looking at the term in service, you do that when you're employed or in a facility. So it's called in service. So what's the definition? Going on or continuing while one is employed. So it's basically an in-house education. But before we get into it, I'm going to get into a few of my past experiences of in services, and then I'm just going to go through a few pointers on how to give a proper in service or in-house education, because I've been through a couple that haven't, that didn't do what they were supposed to do in terms of educating the team to use the equipment properly or to follow a process adequately. So we'll get into that. But first, guys, one simple thing. I would like you guys to please go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every time we have new content coming out. So go there right now. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, welcome back. So in giving an in service, I mean, if you're an educator, sometimes you're a technician and you have that lead role, sometimes you're a manager, you have to know a few things that will help you. And I'm going to just provide a couple little things that will help you provide an in service that will help drive. Hey, hello. Just a couple tips that will help you. Because I was thinking, like, that's how we get a lot of our in-house education, through in services. Now I've been through a few where you have instruments coming through. All you have is a sign-in sheet and the instrument laying right next to it, and you have to sign that you understand how to use it, how to clean it, how to sterilize it, and move forward. And if you end up making a mistake, you end up getting written up. So that's definitely not an in service technically. So I've also been through in services where it's a lecture of somebody that made a mistake, somebody did something wrong. We should not have this happen again. You get written up if we see this happen again, and there's no education on how to not let it happen again. It's basically a lecture or drubbing of, hey, if you do this, you're gonna get fired. I've also been through in services where it's a warning where, hey, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. If I see you over here, if I see this, if I see that, and that's not really driving the point of what we want the in-service to be. We want to educate our team on how to follow proper procedures, standards. All right. So if you're an educator, there, you should be on another level in terms of just jumping into an in-service and try and give that information. If you're an educator, you should have some idea of the different types of learners you have within the department, right? You should have a little bit of knowledge on that. So we have to go into learning styles. We have the visual, we have the auditory, we have a read and write, and we have the kinesthetic. So, we have the visual. They like to learn with images. If you incorporate some images into your presentations for in-services, if you do not have the exact instrument, or if it's a process, you want to have some kind of image. You want to have some kind of, hey, this is what we go, this is our point A, this is our point B, this is what we do to get to where we want to go, right? So you have an instrument, you might even have a video of the process, how it's used in a procedure. That would also help. So your visual learners, they want to see exactly what it is, how to open it. They want to know from step 1 to step 2 how it works, right? You might even bring in some more information on how it's manufactured, right? So you want to give them that whole visual so they understand the entire process. No pun intended. So your auditory learners, they want to grasp some information. So you have to say it in a way they will be able to understand. So you want to tell them, give them each step. Don't leave things out and expect them to fill in the blanks. You want to go through the entire process with the team. Don't assume because they've been there for a while or they're in the department, etc., that they automatically will understand what you're saying. You want to start from the nuts and bolts and go on to the end product with them. That's how then you could actually document that, hey, I went through the entire process with you guys, and if you have to reiterate that, then you go through the entire process again so that you have no missing steps or missing links. Because some people may walk out the in service with 90% of what you said. Some may walk out with 50% of what you said, but you want to make sure that you went through the entire process with them so that there are no gaps. Read and write. Those persons take notes. Another thing, you want to have some handouts when giving an in-service. You want to have a couple handouts so that people could put in put in their locker, revise a little 10 questions or something that they could take notes on, because there are those old school, a couple young folks too, that do like to write what they hear and write what they see so that they could revise it in the future. And some folks always pull out their notes. Hey, this is what the in-service said, X, Y, and Z, and that makes them more efficient in their duties. So you want to give out a little handout so that those persons could write, or have some notebooks within the department so that those folks are able to document what you're saying. And you have the kinesthetic folks who like to touch and feel. So if you have an instrument where you're describing how to clean, how to reprocess that instrument, you want to have it available so that persons could touch, feel, fool around with it. Like my man Jesse, Jesse Lopez, you want to have those instruments ready, or have multiple of them, so that if you have a big crowd or a big crew, you could pass those instruments around so they could look through the lumen, they could feel the sharpness, they could see how heavy it is, they could pop it open and screw whatever, so that they know when they see this in Dick and Tam, this is how I handle it. When they see it on the prep and pack side, this is how I handle it. All right. And you want to make sure that you set an agenda. What do you want your folks to take away from that in-service, right? You want them to, at the end of this in-service, we want you to be able to take this instrument apart. We want you to understand how to clean this instrument. We want to be able to answer these 10 questions on this instrument. We want you to be able to name this instrument or name the steps to reprocess the instrument. We want you to be able to understand the chemistries of, have an agenda so that you know what you're walking away with, what your team should be walking away with when um, after the in service is complete, right? So I just want to take one small commercial break. Shout out Sterile MD. Yes, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Shout out to the our Etsy store, Sterile MD. You could get through there through sterilemd.com, or go to Etsy at Sterile and type in Sterile MD, and you get to all our sterile processing gear. So let's get back to it. In servicing, guys, you want to be enthusiastic when giving an in service. You don't want to be all angry and upset because somebody left a filter in a tree or didn't clean this instrument properly and there was bioburden. Yeah, let's get our emotions out of it. Let's be enthusiastic. Let's encourage the team to want to follow the process that we're trying to lay out in front of them. And I think that will help them. You definitely want to be enthusiastic. You want to give some energy in your in services. Energy, positive energy, not any negative energy. We do not you want to shape the environment of your department or the department you're working for. So you want to provide some positive energy so that when persons walk out of your in service, they're energized to follow the process. Also, when giving an in service, you want to tell a story. All right, tell a story about, hey, guys, once upon a time when I was a tech, I forgot an integrator in the tree. Tell them the story about, like you understand the position that they're in at this point in time. You want to make sure that, they understand, you understand what they're going through. Hey, guys, once upon a time, I remember the first time I saw this instrument in Dick and Tam, and I didn't know how to clean it, so I put it in the water. I brushed the outside, put it in the washer, and we ended up sterilizing it. When I got to the old operating room, it had a bunch of blood and bioburden in there. So you want to share some of those stories, some of your sad stories, some of the positive stories. Hey guys, someone from Dick and Tam didn't clean this instrument. Clean this instrument. It was a new rookie. They didn't clean it. I caught it. It was a lot of bioburden in there. They didn't clean it correctly. I showed them how to brush, flush, and how to use the chemistries properly. I showed them what washer cycle to put it in. Share a good positive story so that your team could emulate that in the future. All right. You want to prepare for your in services, guys. You want to have an in service that's well laid out. You don't want to start from, hey, this is how you sterilize it, and then, hey, this is how you put it in the sink. You want to start from the beginning. Hey, we have this new instrument called the thingamajiggy retractor, right? It's used for, this is how you clean it. This is the enzymatic detergent you use. This is the concentration you use. This is the washer cycle you put it in. This is when will you see it? What cases is it for? It's for a general surgery. We do abdominal procedures. That we do open procedures. We do open procedures. If our robot isn't, if we use our robot and we see we have to open, we use this thingamajiggy retractor and we open up with it. We use it. So you want to make sure you explain the use, so persons won't be cleaning the wrong end of the it's a kind of a little funny, but we won't be cleaning the wrong end of the instrument, trying to figure out what's going on, where do we clean, how is it used, where do we take apart, what, because there are many times instruments come apart and we don't know how to take it apart. Then you get it back in the you assemble your tray, you put it back in you put it back in there, in the OR it's actually two pieces, and then like, oh, this tray isn't sterile, these are two pieces, they didn't take it apart. So we definitely want to give that information in our in services. So we want to start from the beginning, how to take it apart, how to clean it, how to use our account sheets, what's it called on our account sheet versus what's it called, what's the actual name, because those two may be different. We want to make sure the name we call it and the name on our account sheet is the same. We don't want to have any issues with that. We want to make sure the OR calls it similar to what we call it, because they use their nicknames. But you definitely want to make sure you prepare for your in-service from the beginning, get your agenda together, and on your closing, what do you want people to walk away with, and how you want them to, proceed with the instrument, with the process you're trying to lay out. You want to make it relevant to them. You want to show them, hey, this is you following this process, or you clean this instrument correctly will produce this result. This is a patient that has used this. I have seen this before. These are the certain outcomes that I have had with using this instrument, with delivering this straight to the OR, and it's been excellent, and it's been difficult in some ways if it's not done correctly. So you definitely want to show some relevance in terms of the process that they're going to be following and the outcome. You also want to make the simple stuff. You also want to make eye contact with your team when presenting like this. You want to make eye contact. I'm kind of looking into a little circle right now, but still, it's like an eye. You want to make eye contact with those persons you're in servicing. You want to make sure that everyone is paying attention. Sometimes you have a huge crowd. You might want to break that up into one or two persons. So you definitely want to get those persons involved, make eye contact, make sure that they're following what you're saying and that they're picking it up. So eye contact is definitely important. So guys, eye contact. And also put a joke in there somewhere. Have a little laughter. Have a little, hey guys, this was funny. Here's a funny situation. You could even segue into something that's not work related. Just let them know, hey, this happened, guys. This looks like this looks like something funny. Okay, this looks like a apple. This little round implant looks like an apple. Just think of some, something interesting that persons will want to gravitate to. Your team, how they are. Just for a little spice in there, so that they will be able to relate to what you're saying better. Involve the audience. Hey, ask a question. Guys, what did I just say? How do you clean this? What's the chemistry? How many, what's the name? Where is it from? What material is it made from? What's the sterilization time? What's the dry time? You always want to ask questions to your team to make sure they're following what you're saying. Guys, always ask a little question here and there. Even ask those persons you feel are not following what you're saying. Jack in the back, his head is kind of down. He probably had a rough day. Say, hey, Jack, hey, what do you think? What's the sterilization time? You want to grab those people and keep them following what you're saying, right? So always ask questions, get some feedback from the team, because you want to make sure that what you're saying resonates with everybody and persons are not here just to kill the time and sign off. All right, because that's definitely not productive in terms of giving a productive in service where persons could walk away with the information. You definitely want to make the lesson simple. You want to make it simple. You don't make it too complicated. And then you have to know your team also. You do not want to make this too complicated because persons are not. You're gonna lose a lot of people. People want to know the nuts and bolts of what you're trying to get to. You don't want to go into too many details where you have to educate on every detail if possible. And that's why the handouts are important also. So guys, hold on for 1 second. We're going to Sterile MD. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the show. And one little thing, I just want to ask you one little thing. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Go to our YouTube channel, The Process Media, and like it. Hit that like button and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. You know what the notification bell does? It lets you know every time we have new content coming out. So you definitely want to hit that notification bell so that every time we have a show, ping, you get that little notification. It won't mess up your day. It's just it's a subtle sound, right? So go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel. I'll give you 10 seconds. All right. All right. I'm glad you did that. Thank you. So, guys, if you're giving an in service, you want to make sure that you lay things out in advance, right? And I know there are times where instrument comes in, you have to kind of rush and gather some information quickly because I've been there. I've been in those roles where instrument comes in, they need it today, IFUs are right there, and you have to figure out a way. You have to figure out a way to convey that information to your team effectively so that they can reprocess that instrument with confidence, right? You need to do that. So, well, you want to divine, you want to determine and validate the needs. What you need, what do you need right now? What do you need? What do they need right now? What do they need right now to reprocess this instrument? Maybe you might have a follow-up in service, right? But if an instrument or if a process is sprung on you last minute and you have to give an in service on a particular instrument, you want to know, what do I need to convey to my team right now at this moment to reprocess this instrument so that it could go to the operating room and be used on a patient. So as an educator, as a team lead, as a manager, you need to understand the information that you need to convey. You may just need to convey, hey, this is how you clean it, this is how you decontam, this is how you sterilize. That you may not have time to go into, hey, this is used for this procedure, this is used for a certain case, this is used for a certain physician. You might not have enough time to go through that. You may just have enough time to go through the bare bones of what it is. You also want to set goals and specific objectives. Hey, you guys in DiggingTime, I want to make sure you do X, Y, and Z to this instrument. You guys on Prep and Pack, make sure you look for a certain feature. Make sure you make sure you blow it out or dry it, or make sure it goes into this mode of sterilization. You want to make sure that everybody in every area knows their specific objectives. So you want to, if you, on another note, if you have enough time and you plan in your in service and you know, hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, we have bioburden issues, we have reprocessing issues, we have missing integrator issues. You want to make sure you plan a course of action adequately. In some cases, you may want to give an in service on the instruments you have the most issues with. You may want to have an in-service on the areas, um, well, let's say you have missing indicators. You may want to have a in-service on your missing integrator issues. You may want to have an in-service on your bio button issues. So you may want to lay those things out um, before you go into your in-service so that you could focus on your objectives. All right, guys, let's get into calzero.com. Like, let's get into those shoes. Calzero is a comfortable shoe that helps you walk away from contamination. We know you spend your shift on your feet and need a healthy shoe that can be easily decontaminated. All Calzero shoes are designed to keep you moving and can be machine washed or disinfected with bleach. Calzero, a new type of footwear that meets the changing needs of the medical environment, using an innovative copolymer rubber compound to create a product that is sterilizable, autoclavable, anti-static, and extremely comfortable for people standing for long hours. Additionally, Calzero Classic can be sterilized using an autoclave at your facility in the sterile processing department. In business since 1983, Calzero is here to wash away your worries every step of the way. And the mission is to provide comfortable, easy to clean footwear made to treat your feet. Shout out to calzero.com. And Calzero is supporting the process for the mission in Jamaica. Shout out to calzero.com. Shout out to MedLabel. I appreciate your support. T-shirt is coming out soon. I have it. I'm gonna wear it pretty soon. I just want to see how many more sponsors we're going to get. So I'm gonna put everything at the end of the show. I'm gonna put all the information in there so that you guys could call, mail, email. If you want to go to sterilemd.com and just send me a quick message, that's fine also. I'm looking for a few things to take down there to help the folks out in on the island of Jamaica. So shout me out, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. So guys, let's get back into in-servicing. You if you're giving an in-service, you definitely want a plan of action. What am I doing? What are you doing? What are you trying to get out of it? Is this in-service for an instrument? Is it in-service for a process? You don't want to commingle and have your team falling asleep, right? You don't want to have them falling asleep before you finish the in-service. You don't want it disjointed. You want something focused. Because I've seen many in-services where you walk in there, it starts with one thing, it leads to 5 different things, and then you're talking about the entire department. And then you give a suggestion, and that's overlooked because we have no direction as to where the in-service should go, what you should take out of it. I've gone through in-services where there is a name of a tree or a name of an instrument, and you have no idea what that instrument looks like. Sorry, and you're asked to sign off on that in-service, and I have no idea what this looks like. How can I sign off on an in-service where I do not even know what the instrument looks like? And I think that's wrong, guys. You should always know what you're signing off on. You should always understand what you're doing before you sign off on anything. And let's get into one more commercial. Steril MD. Hey guys, hello. Welcome back. Check out Steril MD on Etsy.com. Guys, at the end of your in-service, you want to make sure that you get some feedback. You want to make sure you have some feedback. Hey guys, what did you get? What did you learn? What do you think of my presentation? How did I do? You definitely want a little feedback so that your next in service will be better than your last in service. You definitely want that feedback. So, guys, it's definitely important. Ask for feedback at the end of your in service. So, guys, um, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate your support. Hopefully, you got some good information from this on how to create an in service, what you should be doing, what you should be looking for. And guys, take this very seriously. You have many people who provide these in service opportunities, and they do not create an environment for their team to walk away with any new information. It's basically a process that doesn't yield any productivity or any information at all. So you want to make sure, and then at the end of the day, we wonder why isn't our team understanding this? Why isn't our team performing this process correctly? We want to make sure that our in services, which is our in-house education, is effective enough. And we all know that there are those in services online, etc., and see opportunities online. So we definitely want to make sure our in-house in services are adequate enough to provide the education we need so that our team can perform their task effectively. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the process tonight. uh Hope you have a good evening, and we're out. Peace.